Action is one of the most popular movie genres, but it's pretty vaguely defined. Any movie that elicits excitement can be described as an action movie. The genre is separated into a bunch of different subgenres, defined by all kinds of factors. Westerns are defined by their Wild West setting. Buddy cop movies are defined by their pairings of bickering detectives. Disaster movies are defined by, well, disasters. From spy movies to superhero movies to martial arts movies to Die Hard on A. Movies, action cinema is full of beloved subgenres. 10 Western westerns were the original action movies. Arguably, the whole of action cinema stems from the groundbreaking early westerns helmed by John Ford and Howard Hawks. The sheriffs and bounty hunters of the western genre evolved into the cops and assassins of modern action movies. Sergio Leone's breathtaking spaghetti westerns were way ahead of their time. The action in the Dollars trilogy is still visceral and intense by today's rapid-paced standards. 9 Buddy Cop in the 1980s, hit movies like 48 HRS and Lethal Weapon defined the buddy cop subgenre with their tales of mismatched detectives, or, in the case of 48 HRS, a detective and the crook he reluctantly let out of prison for 2 days, pursuing a common goal. In buddy cop movies, the action sequences are punctuated by lighthearted bickering. Buddy cop movies aren't always about police officers. Midnight Run pairs up a bounty hunter and his latest bounty. The Nice Guys pairs up 2 private eyes. Point Break pairs up an FBI agent and a surfer bank robber. The only prerequisites are bullets and banter. 8 Spy from the James Bond franchise to the Mission Impossible franchise, everyone loves a good spy movie about the dangers of going undercover and the obstacles that stand in the way of preventing World War III. The storytelling in the spy genre is nice and straightforward. After a quick exposition dump, they can focus entirely on the action. Secret agents are given covert missions and set off on globetrotting adventures to accomplish those missions. There are usually some twists and turns along the way, but the story is secondary to the spectacle. 7 Disaster in the real world, the devastation of disasters like hurricanes and tsunamis and volcanic eruptions can cost people their homes or even their lives. But on the big screen, they can make for a thrilling spectacle. Audiences have been dazzled by the widespread destruction and disaster movies like Twister and San Andreas and the Towering Inferno. Disaster movies don't always get the kindest reviews from critics, but they're pure popcorn entertainment. 6 War. The war genre flips the appeal of an action film on its head. The explosive spectacle in war movies isn't exciting or entertaining. It's harrowing and traumatic, often taken from true stories of soldiers' battlefield experiences. There are shootouts and chases and explosions in Saving Private Ryan and Dunkirk, but not the fun kind. Some war films, like Apocalypse Now, are so tense and terrifying that they border on horror. 5 Blaxploitation. Blaxploitation is a subgenre of exploitation movies that focuses on empowering black action heroes played by screen legends like Pam Grier and Fred Williamson. Directors like Jack Hill and Gordon Parks imbued the genre with a slick, savvy style. The genre was defined by early classics like Shaft and Sweet Sweetback's Bodice Song. The brutality in the early acts of movies like Coffee and Foxy Brown is paid off in their wildly satisfying climactic revenge sequences. 4 Superhero. The most popular action subgenre right now is superhero movies. They're like regular action movies, except the heroes and villains wear flamboyant costumes and have special abilities. Ever since the Blade, X-Men, and Spider-Man franchises proved their box office potential, studios have been all in on comic book properties. Now, audiences are treated to dozens of superhero movies a year. They're pretty hit and miss, but when they hit, like The Dark Knight or Spider-Man: No Way Home, they make for the ultimate blockbusters. 3. Vigilante thriller. Vigilante thrillers rose to prominence in the 1970s when escalating crime rates were making audiences feel disillusioned and distrustful of law enforcement. The revenge fantasies of movies like Death Wish and Dirty Harry gave audiences the vicarious thrill of circumventing a corrupt system to enact justice. In real life, people get away with heinous crimes all the time. Characters like Paul Kersey and Harry Callahan, who take the law into their own hands, give jaded audiences a sense of bloody satisfaction in an unjust world. 2. Martial arts. Almost all action movies contain fight scenes, but there's a particular creativity in the fight scenes of martial arts films. Classics like Enter the Dragon and Police Story have allowed iconic actors like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan to show off their martial arts prowess. Michelle Yeoh has applied her background in dance to the physicality of her fight scenes, while Iko Uwais has brought breathtaking intensity to action-packed gems like The Raid and The Night Comes for Us. 1. Die Hard. John McTiernan's Die Hard is so wildly influential that it spawned its own subgenre of action cinema. Any movie in which a plucky lone hero takes on a band of hijackers in a confined space is described as Die Hard. Speed is Die Hard on a bus, Passenger 57 is Die Hard on a plane, Air Force One is Die Hard on the president's plane, etc. The simplicity of this story setup allows filmmakers to put their own unique spin on it